So I finally got to watch Creed 3, which is actually Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and this is a new installment in the Rocky franchise, which unfortunately does not have Rocky, but the movie's still actually really good. Now, to give you kind of some background details on this, I actually really loved the Creed movies. I loved the first one, the second one I thought was great. I also really loved the Rocky movies. In fact, when the first Creed movie was watching, or not watching, when the first Creed movie was coming out, I remember I was pretty young. I don't remember the exact age, but I was around my preteen time, somewhere around that time period. And I had never seen the Rocky movies, but my dad really liked them. I have heard of them, and ultimately I decided to give them a watch. I watched all the Rocky movies prior to Creed, and I really enjoyed the Rocky movies. I'm not like the biggest Rocky fan. I'm not like a diehard, knows every little detail of the Rocky movies. No, but I do enjoy them, and I ended up loving the first Creed and the second one. I really liked it. But this one, I think, honestly, keeps up the journey. I think it's a great installment, not just to the Creed trilogy, but to the Rocky franchise as a whole. And I'll say this right now, it's not the best Rocky film. It's definitely not the worst. I'm making it sound like it's a bad thing, but no, it's actually a really good movie. I'll say this movie is better than Creed 2, but not as good as Creed 1, which is all right because the first Creed is just that good. But now this does star Michael B. Jordan and of course Jonathan Majors, which I'm gonna say this right now. While it's not my favorite Rocky movie, it is my favorite lead up to a Rocky fight. It's my favorite lead up to a fight because everything's so personal. Jonathan Majors is the antagonist of this film, but what the movie really does really well, and I always appreciate when movies do this, is they make you sympathize with him. They don't make you cheer for him, but they make you sympathize. You feel the pain of Jonathan Majors is. His character was arrested at one point. He was locked up his entire life. He had a promising future. He was close with Adonis, and now he's back and he realizes his friend had this amazing, luxurious life, living the dream, while he was forced to sit behind bars, treated very poorly by the police. And now he's back, and you can feel that to Jonathan Majors, this is far more personal. To him, this isn't just about being rich, being a millionaire. To him, this is feel finally getting the life that he felt he deserved. And this movie really does that well. I'd even argue that I think the writing for Jonathan Majors in this movie was far better than the writing in Ant-Man the Lost Quantumania. I like Ant-Man the Lost Quantumania. You guys know that. And I thought Kang was by far the best part of that film. But man, looking what they were able to do with Creed, I think honestly, I really hope that the writers of Kang Dynasty kind of look at Creed and think, all right, let's use that as kind of a mini blueprint because Jonathan Majors is that good. And I'll even say this right now, Jonathan Majors is the best part of this film. Like he's the most interesting part. There's even times where the movie gets you to feel more for him than for Adonis. And I like that. And the build up towards the final matchup is just that good. Right? And of course, this is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. Now, there's other characters there. You know, you had Tessa Thompson. I think everyone did well with their roles. I think Michael B. Jordan was also great. But the main thing I want to talk about is this is his directorial debut. And I think this was the perfect movie to start off because you've already established yourself with Creed. It's kind of like your baby, right? And so now you're coming to the third film, and I think it was perfect to give him this opportunity. And sorry, I have a runny nose. And his directing style was actually pretty cool. Now, it is very well known that Michael B. Jordan's a big anime fan, and this movie does take inspiration from anime combat per se. I'm not a big anime fan. I'm actually not really into anime. I liked not my One Punch Man. I thought that was a pretty decent show. I grew up watching Pokemon, but besides any of that, never really watched any anime. But one thing I will appreciate from anime is the combat and the fighting in the shows tend to be really, really cool. And I'd even say that the combat in anime is much better than a lot of the Marvel DC animation stuff. Like, I'll even straight up admit that. And you can tell there's certain, like, I don't know how to describe it. essentially. But there's certain ways, the certain type of fighting and everything that is really reminiscent to anime. So if you're an anime fan, I feel like you're really gonna enjoy that. It feels like Michael B. Jordan's paying homage to iconic anime combat. Right now, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is Sylvester Stallone. Now, I know Sylvester Stallone has said some things. You know, he is frustrated with the Creed movies. He said that he's not going to go watch Creed 3. I don't care. That is outside personal bullshit that I'm not here for. But there is going to be one question heading towards this film. Can this movie do well without Sylvester Stallone? Does it fit well with the movie? And I got to say, I watched this movie, and when the movie finished, I never thought about why wasn't Rocky in this movie. I didn't think anything like that. All I thought was, I know what happened was I remember I was on the way home, and then for some reason out of my mind I was like, oh yeah, Sylvester Stallone was saying all that stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, he wasn't in the movie. So to me, the missing of Rocky was actually completely understandable. And I like that the movie was able to write around the fact that Rocky isn't in this movie. And I think they did that almost to perfection. And in fact, I don't see how, if Rocky was even in this movie, I feel like only like one or two scenes would have him. But overall, it never felt like needed. It's not like with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where every time you saw Namor having conflict with Wakanda, all you kept thinking was, where's T'Challa? We want T'Challa. T'Challa would have been better in this scene. The writing in this scene would have been better because of just having T'Challa in general. But in this movie, you don't feel that with Rocky. At least me personally. Some of y'all may disagree. I don't know. And especially because this movie feels so personal to Adonis Creed that it almost feels weird even if Rocky was going to be in the film. Not saying he couldn't have been. I'm just saying it never felt like you needed him, per se. Is there anything bad about the film? There's a little bit. I do think this movie should have trimmed out a good 10 minutes. I feel like the movie's a little too long. I felt like sometimes this movie had moments where it almost felt soap opera-y, if that makes sense. There was moments in this film that felt like didn't fit a Rocky film. And it felt like the stakes were a little too high. But those are very small and little. And also, I do think if you're a big Rocky fan and you want to see the Rocky style fights that you've been accustomed to, while this movie has something like that, it does change it a little bit. So maybe if you're not into anime, maybe the fights will feel weird to you. To me, it was really cool, but no negativity at all. Overall, I thought this was a really, really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And who do I recommend this to? Of course, anime fans, like I already said. If you already like the Creed and the Rocky movies, you're really going to enjoy this film. If you like combat type of movies, you're going to enjoy it. And to my Marvel fans, if you want to see the potential of Jonathan Majors, you come watch this film, by the way. But anyways, that's going to be it for my review. I'm feeling a little sick, so I apologize if I haven't been uploading all that much. My allergies and shit, it's just, it makes it so much harder to record a video. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you seen the movie? Have you not? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below. And we'll talk about this in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next time. Ciao.
Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it? That thing you do. Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Cinderella, I think I'll find your glass slipper, baby.